Welcome to H.O.T Takes,
a podcast by House of Touch, the modern spa experience.
Hey hotties, welcome to H.O.T Takes. This is our very first episode. We are your co-founders and hosts. My name is Mariselle, your COO and Education Director.
And my name is Konstanza, or Koko, CEO and Creative Director of House of Touch Spa. We are so excited to introduce our podcast. We are going to be talking about all sorts of exciting things, anything from skincare education, interviews with hotties, that means clients, business owners in the area, wellness professionals, spa updates, behind the scenes of what it's like to run a business, events, and so much more. So now that you know a little bit about what we are going to be talking about and what you can expect from this podcast, let's dive into the heart of House of Touch, how it all began, and what we're all about. So I'm going to pass this over to Mariselle. She always talks about our love story in just like the most romantic, gorgeous way. I love when she shares a story.
Truly.
Do you want to talk to us a little bit about how we met, why we started, and everything like that?
So I always start the story off with Koko and I met at our very first jobs out of esthetician school. We actually went to the same esthetician school, just at the two different locations. I was in South Plainfield and she was at the Ewing location here in New Jersey. We both graduated around 2019 and started off as waxers, wax specialists at European Wax. The good old days, man. Honestly, that's where we grew and just learned so much about the industry and ways of the corporate world. And we really, without knowing, were digesting all of the rights and the wrongs and what we were going through and whatnot. Then COVID hit. We went our separate ways. Koko moved into Philly. I moved to Miami, and we kind of disconnected for a little bit, but my mother still was one of Koko's clients. Koko then opened Green Fox Aesthetics during COVID. She was working out of her house, and my mom would drive to see her, I think, every other Monday of the month.
She had to come, at least like 2 Mondays of the month, if not every Monday. And she would always come with beautiful vegetables that she would grow from her garden. So we would exchange, she would give me zucchini and then I would send back Lavender Lemonade when you were in town visiting. Do you remember that?
Yes, Koko makes the best lavender lemonade, and it's the best thing I think I've ever put in my mouth. I swear to God, it is so good. But yeah, so that's how we stayed in touch over the years of me living in Miami. Randomly, don't even know what happened or why, but one random day I felt called to FaceTime Koko while I was living in Miami. It just so happened to be the day that she got engaged to Dylan. I was like the second person that knew, and it was like this whole... the stars were just aligning for us. And we were like, holy shit. We always knew there was a reason we met, and we always knew that something would come of the relationship. Here we are now.
We just had those invisible strings. Like, we had all of those invisible strings that were needed to connect us when we first met. I remember walking by you and being like, I'm going to be friends with that girl. I already know that we're going to have a connection.
But yeah, time moved on. I ended up moving out of Florida. I always knew I wanted to go to Arizona because I ended up taking a laser hair removal course there at the National Laser Institute, and I fell in love with it, and that's where my love for medical aesthetics grew. Fast forward, I ended up moving to Arizona. Koko got an amazing job offer to move to Arizona. So we moved out there completely unrelated, but ended up living 5 minutes down the road from each other.
Which is crazy because we didn't even live that close when we were in the Northeast.
Right.
So we basically got to be neighbors.
Yeah. And it was this whole thing. We got close again. We hung out. We were figuring things out and going to the dispensary and hikes. It was fun. And we were working our jobs, but we weren't being fulfilled in the ways that we knew we needed to be fulfilled in to truly love our life and feel, aligned with what we wanted to do in the community and our work and our careers. I think one day, I called you crying. I was like, Koko, I can't work at this place anymore. I was working a 9 to 7, taking 8 clients a day. I was working at a fast food facial place. Like it was crazy. So I came to Koko and I was like, I can't do it anymore.
Let's talk about that shift. I mean, I just remember both of us were in a place where we are what would be considered successful estheticians, like having a full book of clients for you. And same thing for me. We were able to pick up and restart over here on the West Coast in Arizona. And for some reason, even though it felt like we had everything right in front of us, we didn't. We still weren't feeling totally fulfilled. Like you said, with our careers, with our community, just something wasn't there. I remember sitting in your living room being like, we have to do something about
We
this.
have to
We
do
need to make a
something.
shift. We started talking about going independent and talking about Green Fox, my previous business. And we're like, we have something here. We've done it
Yeah,
before, but we were so scared to try to do it again out here without the
we
support of
were.
our friends and family. I remember looking at you being like, I know I can do this, but I'm not doing it alone. Like, will you
Right.
do this with me? And
Yeah.
you're like, hell
I'll never
yeah.
forget that. I was like, let's do it. We called my dad. He said if there is a time or a place to do it, it's now, because we would rather have been uncomfortable for this last year and the next 2, 3 years to then be totally stable and, happy. We sat at literally the table that I'm have this laptop on right now in New
That's so
Jersey.
funny.
We sat at this table. And yeah, we started planning and manifesting, and literally in Coco's like little planner that she kept in her purse, we started thinking of names, and it was fun. And we were like, you know what, let's do it. And then we
Well,
did it.
I remember it started with we wanted to do like the North House because we were trying to
Yes.
bring
Yes.
home anywhere that we go. We were like, we want to create this
Exactly.
sense of, again, space of peace and comfort. We always come back to that because that's what we didn't have in our original work where we had met. Then we're like,
Totally.
okay, whatever we do, we want it to be a home. So we
Right.
were playing around with North House or House of the North. And we're like, what's
Right.
going on
And
here?
we were trying to make it like house with like HAUS to make it like fun and
Mhm.
quirky.
We were
And
trying a
then
little too hard there.
yeah, a little too hard. Then I think we had like the epiphany and we're like, wait, everything that we do with our hands, and everything is some sort of energetic transfer with touch. Then it blossomed. This is a little fast forward, but we didn't even realize at that moment that the acronym was HOT. We had no idea. We had
No idea, guys.
Freaking idea.
You heard it here first. We had zero clue. We promise you this was not intentional.
Zero
I
idea.
remember we were sitting and we were like, wait a minute, House of
I think
Touch is hot.
Yeah, I think we were texting about Paris Hilton and her Burning Man outfit or something that year.
Something like that. Yeah. Well, because you know what? She was wearing, I remember she wore a hat from 12th Tribe or something
Right.
like that.
Right. And we were like, that's hot, because that's her slogan. We were like,
Wait a minute.
we're so silly.
We have something here.
That's where hotties, hot take, like everything has just blossomed from there. Within that house, we create a house of community, a house of beauty pros, a collective of everybody, which kind of ties into the mission and the vision of our brand. And, Coco speaks beautifully of our mission, and she is our creative director. And I give her so many rounds of applause for everything she has done, because truly incredible. She is the architect. I'm going to have her speak upon our mission and our vision, because truly she says it the best.
You know what? I'll take architect. I really like that because
I
do feel like
that. You like
right.
that?
I mean, like as we're, I love it. Actually, I don't like it. I love it. Reason being is like we talk about this all the time with House of Touch. We have our foundations of the brand.
Yeah.
So we have our mission and we have our vision. Obviously, within our mission, we have high quality products, high quality services, high quality staff who are trained and welcoming and loving to all of our clients. We also have our visions. The goal is to create an impact on the community. When we had opened our doors, we were doing services and we wanted to start tying in our self-care community, not just when they're coming in for treatments and saying hi in between appointments to one another,
Right.
but being able to create a space where everybody can come and hang out and start creating that community and start creating that network. So we started taking ideas and creating them into events. We had our body butter workshop. We had yoga classes where people would come and they would donate, and we would take those donations and apply them to nonprofits in the area and start having our self-care community make a positive impact with the self-care dollars that they're putting towards their treatments. So you're not only taking care of yourself, but you're taking care of the people around you, which every time I talk about it, it gives me goosebumps. It really helps empower our community, and it really shows our brand's core values of authenticity, empowerment, and intentional care. As we have been expanding, we ended up opening our sister location. Mariselle traveled to New Jersey and created New Jersey House of Touch. And no matter where we are, we realized that the business was going to support us. And Mariselle missed her friends and family back home. We wanted a way to reconnect with clients that I had in the past. And we were given that avenue by opening up our second studio. From there, I realized I was like, oh no, know. It's just me and Sydney here, who is our lead esthetician queen, our very first
Queen.
hire.
Yes, Sydney has been with us from the start, and she has believed in us since we were in our little studio suite. She deserves the biggest shout out because we wouldn't be able to be where we are without the support from her. And truly, she means the world to us.
Well, I mean, even the fact that it was just the two of us and she had come to one of our community events, right? And then she had reached out to us and asked to join and be part of the team. And from there, we're like, wow, we thought it was just the two of us. Let's go and expand and let's go and add another team member. Let's go and see if we can start growing our network of estheticians and really working towards that path. As you know, we started expanding. Mariselle is on the other side of the country. We wanted to make sure that we still had that support here because the goal was never to just be solo estheticians in a room. We very much are a network and community of estheticians. A family, our spa family. We ended up deciding to open up a building and open up a full-blown storefront here. We partnered up with one of our original nonprofit partners, Rooted Soul. Nancy's our new partner and mission director. She combined forces with us, and now we are working on building our brick and mortar locations. As we've grown and evolved, so has our vision for the future. Let's talk about some exciting things that we have in the works, what you could expect next. We obviously have been teasing about the building opening and we are working towards that. But until then, we have been hosting community events, spa parties, and virtual appointments, which we're going to be talking about in our next episode as well. Mariselle, do you want to talk a little bit about some future podcast topics that we're going to be diving into?
Totally. I'll give you a little sneak peek, a little hinty. Future podcast topics are really going to range anywhere from skincare tips, wellness practices, behind the scene insights of what goes into running a spa, especially on two different coasts. We're going to really dive into the nitty gritty, the hard times, the truths, what really is and what makes up a great business. It's not all sunshines and rainbows. It's not all easy, but anyone can do it if you have the right support system, the right team.
You can do hard things, right? We say that all the time, that you can do hard things. And I know that everyone is curious about how construction is going on the building. I know that our clients here are constantly asking to see how things are going in New Jersey. So this podcast is going to be a great way for people to stay connected and stay in touch with us when they aren't even at their appointments.
It's kind of like our own reality show, if you will.
With so much on the horizon, there's never been a better time to connect with us. But before we wrap up today's episode, here is how you can stay involved and continue the journey with us. Please follow us on Instagram, both New Jersey House of Touch and AZ House of Touch. We also did just start our blog on our website, and our estheticians are going to be posting resources there, including skin tips, wellness hacks, and whatnot.
They're going to be debunking some myths in the skincare industry and what products are really great for you and what products aren't great for you. So be on the lookout for that.
You can also visit our website. We've been putting a lot of work into fine-tuning our offerings and making it super easy to navigate. You can book a consultation in studio or online, which we will be touching on in our next episode.
Thank you so much to everybody for tuning into our very first episode of Hot Takes. Once again, my name is Mariselle.
And my name is Konstanza, or Koko. Thank you so much for joining us on this first episode. We can't wait to share more with you in the future, but until next time, stay radiant and keep aligning your surface with your soul. Bye.
Kisses.